masculinity. A topic that is talked about a lot on here, especially in the self-improvement space. And I'm not going to bullshit you, Chief, because I think there's a lot of influences that talk about what masculinity should be. And to be honest, I think a lot of them get it wrong. You're either told to embrace your femininity and that masculinity doesn't matter, or you're told to go full red pill and be some fucking alpha male who's scared to even look slightly effeminate. Both end up being insecure characters of themselves. Listen, Chief, you have a core energy right here. Something authentic to you. Something beautiful. And if you try and follow all these characteristics by the book, you're going to come across like you're trying to be something. Trying to be, not being. Do you understand? Listen, masculinity is important. But you know what? There's something that hardly anyone speaks about on here, and that's positive masculinity. Does anyone even know what that is? That's what I am trying to be. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the complete article. I'm just giving you advice based on what I've learned so far. There's still so much for me to do. But I have a better idea than a lot of people on here. Because I think a lot of people on here don't even give a shit about you. They just want your money. Positive masculinity. Definition. To be a good man. To be authentically masculine. To be yourself in the blanket term of masculinity. To be loving, to be caring. Do you know what I associate with masculinity? There are some structure to go off. There is some structure to go off, Chief, which you can build off and then add your own personal seasoning to it, because that's what it is. There are guidelines, which yes, you should stick to if you're looking to be masculine. But past those guidelines, you just need to add yourself to it. And what are the guidelines? Okay, well, what do I think masculinity is? I think it's being driven. I think a masculine man is obsessed with progress and improving himself, wanting to be better, wanting to drive towards something. And from what I've observed about life and people that are masculine, this is true. Second thing is stoicism. Stoicism. Now, whatever you want to be, this is an act that will benefit you so much if you master it. And this is where people get confused as well, because you hear stoicism and you hear the trope of men bottling up emotions. That is not what I'm telling you to do, Chief. Stoicism isn't bottling up and ignoring your emotions, it's controlling them. That is a completely different thing. Stoicism is feeling the emotion to its fullest extent. Internally, but externally showing nothing. You choose what you show based on logic, pragmatism. And this is so difficult to master because emotions, especially if you are a young man full of testosterone, they can feel like fucking internal flames inside you. But learning to master that, learning to act only on logic, no matter how you feel, will make you so successful. Because you're not ignoring them, you're just not listening to them, and that's a different thing. Progress, drive, stoicism, all symptoms of a masculine man. And also energy. Obviously sometimes we get tired, but that energy, that source, that confidence. But confidence comes from being secure with yourself. And let me tell you what isn't masculine. Being afraid to be feminine. What I mean by this, let's say you're in a situation, maybe you're with a friend and you're joking, and the joke involves you looking a bit feminine and you're scared to participate because you want to be all masculine. That's not masculine, Chief. That's insecure and pathetic. How can you be secure in your masculinity if you're afraid to look feminine, right? A masculine man doesn't give a shit about how people see him, because the only thing that matters to him is his progress and what he knows, and he knows who he is. If you know you are masculine, if you know you are authentically masculine and authentic to yourself, and if you know you are confident, you shouldn't be afraid to act certain ways in public. Now, I'm not saying go to work with a dress on, because that is a cry for help, unless that's really what you want. But what I'm saying is, A masculine man only cares what people think if their opinion is valuable to them and if they are close to them. Because this isn't even masculinity anymore. Here's the thing, Chief. No matter what you do, someone's going to think downly of you. Someone's going to think wrongly of you. It's going to perceive you in a way that you don't agree with. But there's nothing you can do about that. So just focus on yourself. Beautiful thing about people is if you don't like one person, you can move on to the next, right? And you can always ignore them. Now, I'll be honest with you, masculinity as a topic is something I'm still exploring within myself. But when I realised that that is what I wanted to identify with, I really developed confidence there. But I fell into those traps of following these YouTubers that tell you what masculinity is and you need to stick to it. How to attract a girl, how to be this, how to be... And you kind of feel like you're robotic. You're allowed to be yourself, Chief. If following one of these guidelines doesn't feel like you, then that's okay. Because what they don't tell you is masculinity is a broad way of living. And what you do is you take it, you identify with it, but you make it your own. As long as you're staying driven, you're trying to be stoic and you're trying to better yourself and ultimately just try and be a good provider. And I'm not talking about paying for everything in the relationship. I mean just providing value. That's what it comes down to. What is your value to society, to your friends, to your family? Can you provide value? Can you be relied upon? That's masculinity. And then past that, Chief, just be yourself. And be okay with that. Because what's the point of playing a character? Because you're just going to attract people that are attracted to that character you're playing, not you. I'm not here telling you masculinity is bullshit. Far from it. I think it's important. I think men need to understand it's okay to be masculine because we're not taught that. But positive masculinity is what we need to push. Being a good man, being loving, not being judgmental, being accepting of everything. Being valuable, ultimately. And being driven towards improving while staying true to yourself. Thank you for watching, Chief. If you've made it this far, I just want you to know that I appreciate you and continuously showing up here. We are building something here. Slow but steady, but I promise you it's going somewhere. If someone needs to hear this, please send it to them, share it, comment for the algorithm, like, all that bullshit. But ultimately, remember, say less, do more. See you later, Chief.